It's designed to be safe, it's quiet and totally predictable, down to the cost savings. Nothing similar to what you've seen from us before. In fact, it's impossible to drive.
This is Vera, an autonomous vehicle. Vera is part of a larger system and has the potential to optimize transports in highly repetitive, short-distance transport flows with large volumes of goods, such as ports, factory areas and logistic megacenters, offering better delivery precision and flexibility. The autonomous electric vehicles operate together in a network and are connected through a cloud-based service and management center. We want to make it easier for clients and partners to run their business. We are now presenting a highly effective system for moving goods 24/7 as a complement to what's available today. The pace of society and increasing global trade is placing high demands on efficient and sustainable transport solutions. E-commerce is growing fast, and we have a widespread shortage of truck drivers. Autonomous, electric, and safer vehicles have a great role to play.
Our autonomous solutions open up for new possibilities. It's exciting to know that the full potential of the transport industry is yet to be seen.
It's time we revolutionize theirs. For those who bravely stand at the crossroads of innovation and enterprise. For those who are prepared to give our children a moral compass and not just a roadmap. For those who wish to leave the planet better than it was when we found it. For those who are driven. For those who dare to reinvent. For those who dare to reimagine.
Production, you're going to see us come out with. The largest screen in any truck is 21 inches. And the reason why the screen is so important is because it gives the driver the ability to navigate all these different loads. He can see every load within his city that's available. He can choose to just keep on picking up loads. He doesn't have to worry about a dispatcher. Doesn't have to worry about anything. He can live video chat with the shipper. He can continue on and choose multiple routes. He can say, okay, I want to go from Salt Lake to Colorado and back. Our system will give him the most lucrative route from Salt Lake to Colorado within the time frame he wants to get. It literally takes away so much of the back-end work that is so difficult for owner-operators. A chain on the seats to prevent people from coming in just for the safety. I don't want someone to end up doing something and driving this truck off the stage. So it's a little expensive, okay? You could probably buy a jet with what it costs to build this thing. So we're gonna try to keep people from driving off. But this thing fully functions and works, which is really incredible. This will take a few years to roll out. This is not like an overnight thing. This will take testing, it'll take work, it'll take great partners that we have, but soon we'll be passing billions of dollars of freight through our systems and allowing people to be able to actually earn a better income. Okay, so you move into the Nikola One. This is kind of the main specs of the truck that a lot of people have asked about. People say, how do you get 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 foot-pounds of torque, and 1,200 mile range? Most of the time out of those 3 variables, you get 1, but not all 3. That's what's really cool about Nikola, is you have an electric motor on every wheel. So you have the ability to split up the distribution of the power, the tire wear, the traction, everything else. You get 2,000 foot-pounds of torque before the gear reduction. It's almost 100,000 foot-pounds of torque after gear reduction. Can you imagine pulling a 6% grade for those truck drivers, pulling a 6% grade under a full load of 80,000 pounds and doing it at 65 miles an hour? You can do that with the Nikola 1. So some of the information we've come out with, we've talked about how fuel efficient the Nikola 1 is. This is the slide that'll probably bore some people. But some of the other people, like the critics, they want to know how we get to these numbers. This is important. So it's 33 1/3 kilowatts per. The surround vision, these are some of the safety features. Surround vision, this thing will have 12 cameras on it, gives you the full ability to see all the way around the truck. This will give you collision avoidance. It'll actually try to prevent you from going into the lane with people. These features have been out on some cars. It's not like Nikola's not reinventing everything, just some cool things, but the trucking industry has never adopted them. Now all these are coming into this. And the fact that we can control our electric motors, which are on every wheel, within about 30 milliseconds, that gives us a unique ability of safety that no other diesel could ever dream of having. So the power, there's some things about this, the power, it's unbelievable acceleration. With an electric motor, it's instant. You don't have to wait for it. So you're talking about within 30 milliseconds, that truck will start to propel forward. You couldn't dream of having that with a diesel or any other truck. It's 2 to 3 times more miles per gallon, and that means less weight. I'm going to get into that. This is a really cool thing.
Vehicle experience. What you're seeing in the video is the powertrain, which is made up of a microturbine, a battery storage system, and an electric motor. Moving inside the cab through the sliding driver's door, you'll see the key difference that allowed for the more dramatic aero design. The driver sits in the center of the console rather than over to the left. The dash is electronic and therefore customizable to the gauges and performance data that a particular driver wants to monitor. And it's all finished off with a full-size, comfortable sleeper. Moving on to the trailer, not only is this the first time a trailer has been made out of carbon fiber, but it's actually the first time one-piece 53-foot panels of carbon fiber have been manufactured. Looking at the front of the trailer, you can see that the nose is convex, which increases the aerodynamics of the entire package, as well as adding additional cargo space inside the trailer.
My name is Bill Kahn. I'm the manager of Advanced Concepts at Peterbilt Motors and the program director on the WAVE project. We mentioned a little bit about the aerodynamics of the truck, but let me elaborate a little bit farther. You notice with the center console of the driver, we're able to taper the nose of the vehicle in more. Another key feature is that because we have an advanced powertrain, we do not need to have the radiator in front of the vehicle anymore. This relates to a 20% improvement in aerodynamics over Walmart's existing Peterbilt fleet. If you think about it, 20% aerodynamic improvement relates directly to a 10% improvement in fuel economy.
Hello, my name's Adam Hill from Great Dane Trailers, and I would like to talk to you today about this newest technology that Walmart commissioned us to build. This piece of equipment, over-the-road trailer, is made primarily of carbon fiber material. Carbon fiber is about 10 times stronger than steel, but it's lighter than fiberglass, and that is one of the biggest reasons that it was chosen to highlight the technology of this equipment. This trailer has the capability of being fully loaded with a standard cargo load. It can handle forklift traffic for backhauls, and it is 100% DOT legal. There are several technologies that went into this trailer besides the carbon fiber, which gives us about 4,000 pounds of weight savings when spec'd very similar to a conventional Walmart fleet trailer.
Hi, I'm Steve Gillette with Capstone Turbine. Gas turbines were evaluated by Peterbilt back in the 60s. While they proved to be robust, fuel efficiency was lacking. An advantage of the Capstone microturbine is that it can operate on natural gas or other fuels. This will help Walmart achieve its goal of using 100% renewable fuels in the future. The emissions is extremely low and does not require after-treatment or use any diesel emissions fuels. The microturbine is spinning at high speed on air bearings, so there's no oil to change. And the turbine is air-cooled, eliminating the need for a large radiator, which allows for a more aerodynamic design truck like the one you see here.
We're going to give the trucks a moment. Give the trucks a moment. But let's show you what that means in acceleration. So one thing we care about Tesla is we really care about performance. We want a vehicle that feels incredible, that accelerates like nothing else. Let's show what the truck, what it's like to be in a Tesla truck. This is real time. Okay. Okay. So that's the Tesla Semi will go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So that's by itself or with a trailer. Now at 80,000 pounds max gross vehicle weight, that's the most amount of weight you can carry on a US highway. This is the real-time acceleration of a Tesla Semi. That on the left, the thing that looks like it's not moving is a diesel truck. Just gonna give it a moment. I'm sorry to bore you. I apologize. It's boring. I know. Eventually it'll get there. All right. Even with 80,000 pounds pulling max gross, getting 60 miles an hour in 20 seconds. That's what it can do. Now, what about up a hill? Okay, the best diesel trucks can only do 45 miles an hour up a 5% grade. Tesla Semi can do 65 miles an hour up a 5% grade. That's 65 miles an hour continuous at max gross. What this means is that if you're pulling a load over the Rockies or some mountainous terrain up a hill, you're earning per mile. You're earning 50% more per mile than you are in a diesel truck. That's a gigantic difference. So, now one of the biggest questions we've been asked about electric trucks is, well, how far can they go? Because, well, let's find out. So, 500-mile range. But what does a 500-mile range mean? And by the way, it's 500 miles at maximum weight at highway speed. So you're doing like 60 miles an hour. That's a worst-case scenario. But what it means is that because the vast majority of routes, because the vast majority are under 250 miles, it means that you can go to your destination and back, even if your destination has no charging. You can go there and back, go there and home without recharging. So you could deliver a load out to the middle of nowhere and come back. One of the ways we do this is we design the Tesla truck to be like a bullet. So whereas a normal diesel truck is designed more like a barn wall, this is a bullet. You can see this in the drag coefficient. So the Tesla Semi has a 0.36 drag coefficient. This is a really good number. By way of comparison, a Bugatti Chiron, which is a $2 million supercar, has a 0.38 drag coefficient. So it's got a better drag coefficient than a supercar. And by the way, you can see that in the design. Part of the way we achieve that is with the bullet-shaped nose. We also have side flaps that map to whatever trailer you're pulling, whether it's a new trailer or old trailer. The side flaps will map to whatever trailer you're pulling and close the gap. So this makes a huge difference to the drag coefficient. The bottom of the truck is also completely flat, so the air can flow straight through. These are things that you don't see on any other trucks, and it gives us incredible highway range. It's one of the key factors. We also have 4 independent motors. So there's a motor on each of the rear wheels and an independent front suspension, so it's incredibly comfortable to ride this truck. Yeah. Well. And then we just it's amazing. Because this truck has no gears, you're not constantly shifting gears. It has one gear, so it's smooth. It's just like driving a Tesla. It's as though you're driving a Model S or Model X or Model 3. It's just big. It's super easy to drive, and it feels incredibly responsive. It's unlike any truck that you've ever driven. And the point of view that you have is also incredible. We put the driver in the center. So the driver's actually in the center of the truck. You're positioned like you're in a race car. You have complete visibility of the road and all the surroundings. It's a beautiful, spacious interior. You can stand up inside. It's got redundant screens, and it just feels incredible to drive this. It's one of the best feelings. It's incomparably better than any other truck on the road. You really have to drive it to understand just how good that feels. Like, I can drive this thing, and I have no idea how to drive a semi. So let's take a few more shots of the interior. Just gives you a sense. By the way, we also have like. Also, there's a little trunk in the front. Why not? We'll throw that in there. As compared to, I don't want to hurt your eyes, but that's what a diesel truck looks like today. It's a clutter of third-party devices. It's very difficult to use. It requires integration, installation. These things don't talk to each other. It's a pain in the neck. It has significant add-on costs. Whereas the Tesla Semi, all of this is included. It's included in every truck. Everything just works. The moment you get the truck, it's got everything. And it'll seamlessly integrate with all the fleet systems, the things that are really important to the trucking industry. So what about fueling today, if you're fueling a diesel truck, you've got fumes, spills, toxic environment, prices change all the time. And what a lot of people don't realize is it takes up to 15 minutes or more to actually fill a truck. You have to sit there for 15 minutes while the tank gets filled. As compared to charging a Tesla truck, you can charge at your origin or destination. So while you're unloading your cargo, you can charge. So the reason 400 miles is important is because you have to take a break eventually. So if you drive for 5 or 6 hours, that's about as much as you want to be driving continuously, because you have to stop for a bathroom break, get a bite to eat. In fact, you're legally required to stop for 30 minutes. So, but 400 miles is like 6 to 7 hours of driving, which means what this means in practice is that by the time you're done with your break, the truck is ready to go. You will not be waiting for your truck to charge. This is a big deal. And because of the Tesla mega chargers that will be installing worldwide, just like we've got superchargers installed worldwide, you've seen the supercharger map. It started off with just a few chargers in California. Now we have superchargers throughout the world, and you'll be able to go anywhere with a Tesla consumer vehicle. The same will be true of the Tesla Semi. You'll be able to travel anywhere in the world on the Tesla megacharger network. And that means we can guarantee the electricity rates, because these will be solar-powered megachargers that charge to a Tesla power pack. It's 24/7, guaranteed low electricity. If you've got 80,000 pounds moving at 60 miles an hour, it's a very dangerous thing. Every truck we sell will have enhanced autopilot as standard. Okay. The truck will automatically brake. Yeah, you can read it too. It'll automatically brake, but it will actually automatically lane keep as well. So even if you're in the truck and you have a medical emergency, the truck will stay in lane and gradually come to a halt and put on the emergencies. If it doesn't hear a response from you, it will actually call emergency services and get an ambulance. It's going to take care of you. It's going to take care of other cars. It's going to take care of pedestrians. This is a massive increase in safety. A few other things about safety. With that central position, you're in a very safe position. Even if you were to collide with another semi, you have a low center of gravity that gives you really good handling. It means the probability of a rollover is massively reduced because the battery pack is in the floor pan, and rollover risk is dramatically reduced. And perhaps most importantly, jackknifing is usually the worst nightmare of a trucker. How do you stop your vehicle from jackknifing if you're in difficult conditions? The truck will automatically stop jackknifing because it's got independent motors on each wheel, and it'll dynamically adjust the torque on each wheel so that jackknifing is impossible. Reliability is incredibly important. We're putting massive attention into making this truck incredibly reliable. And that's why we are guaranteeing that this truck will not break down for 1 million miles. We are guaranteeing it won't break down for 1 million miles because it has 4 independent motors. You can lose 2 of those 4 motors and the truck will still keep going. In fact, even if you only have 2 of the 4 motors active, it'll still be a diesel truck. It's not fair, really. So then it has, there's a few other benefits as well. Brakes are a big deal for trucks. You got to stop 80,000 pounds. It's not easy. That's a lot of brake wear. But because with an electric motor, you can turn the brakes into generators. So every time you brake, that kinetic energy of braking goes straight back into the battery pack instead of wearing down a brake pad. So the brake pads basically last forever. You never need to replace brake pads ever, ever. So yeah, no brake pad changes ever. You don't have to worry about transmission. There's no transmission. Transmission can't brake. There are no emissions, no scrubbers, no differentials, and this is the feature I like best: thermonuclear explosion-proof glass. Close. I mean, it's close. So standard glass. Now, why is this important? Because you see, look, nothing. Survived a nuclear explosion. That was incredible. So actually, what's important here is, survives a nuclear explosion, or you get a full refund. Okay, full refund. The reason this is important is because truck windshields are huge, and they crack about once a year. And if the truck windshield is cracked, you're not allowed to drive. So actually, it's truck off-road if you have a cracked windshield. And that means lost revenue, disappointed customers. It's a terrible day. And if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, it can take ages to get a new windshield. So actually, this detail matters a lot to someone who really understands trucking. It's small but very important. Now, having said all this, you're probably wondering how much is this going to cost? Because Tesla stuff is expensive. But we realize that the economics of trucking matter tremendously. If your cost per mile is too high, it doesn't make economic sense. You can't make it work. So we've really thought about this a lot. And when you take everything into account, you take the lease cost, the insurance cost, maintenance, all of the factors, the fully accounted for true cost of trucking, a diesel truck will be 20% more expensive than a Tesla Semi per mile. So. Now, a Tesla truck considered by itself beats other diesel trucks. But what if you have a convoy? So what if you have two trucks following? So you're more like a train driver. In fact, the convoy technology, the tracking technology, this is something that we are confident we can do today 10 times safer than a human driver. So I want to be clear, this is something we can do now. And wait for that plane. There you go. Now if you look at the economics of a truck convoy, it gets way better. Now a diesel truck is twice as expensive as a Tesla Semi. What this means is it's not just economic suicide to use one diesel truck, it's economic suicide for rail. This beats rail. So, and that's I think really quite profound. We're confident that this is a product that is better in every way from a feature standpoint, that wins on economics against diesel trucks in a worst-case scenario, and that defeats rail in a convoy scenario. And production begins 2019. So if you order now, get the truck in 2 years. All right. All right, so that's the Tesla Semi. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. All right, guys, take it away. Thank you. Thanks.